Well, hi, good morning. Thanks so much for coming and joining me here in my shop for what I hope is the last day this radio is in my shop. Boy, I really hope that. Now I have to do three things to get this out of here. First one is pop a little gear back in that popped out yesterday. Next one is reattach a little bit of framework that came off. And then the final one is solve the yellow gear problem, which I plan to epoxy in place. After yesterday's video and sort of deep dive into things here, it sure looked to me like I've got a proper solution in hand now. Okay, that was a test connection during the infamous FM alignment effort that came earlier. So first thing, the order here. I think the first thing is to get that yellow gear back in before it falls all the way out. I think that's an easy thing. And then get the frame back on properly. And then attend to gluing the gear. I think that's the right order to go in. So doing the little pinion gear, I think the best thing is to get gravity on my side. Looks like I can just tip this downwards without too much risk. Okay, that should help make that gear fall in. Let me get a camera shot of it so we can see what's happening. Okay, you can see my little camera there looking through the hole, and here's what we see inside. There's the yellow gear. I think it's just a matter now of kind of shaking it around. It should fall in place. Get it to kind of spin around a bit. I'm imagining there's little fingers at the bottom of it that need to line up with some kind of a receptacle sort of deal. Maybe if I can spin the tuning wheel. Just drop in. Let's not drop it. Trying to put a little downward pressure on it here. There it goes. Is that the right spot? Let me pull the yellow gear right up against it. Yep, it's right in. Perfect. Good. That's just how I'd like to glue all that. Wow, that's in a perfect position for gluing. The gluing I've been thinking about, it's a bit of a procedure to get it done. Okay, so the next thing though is the part that popped off the back. Right upside down from where I had it. There we go. I don't think this steel wire is of any use either at this point, so I'm going to remove that. rather not cut it, but I think I might have to. Cutting it's not an easy thing either. Getting cutters in there. Yeah, I don't think I can unhook it. I think if I work at trying to sort of slide it all back out, I'm going to end up breaking something. Cutter's right on it. It's a piece of steel though. Cutter's not right on it. There we go. Okay. Next thing. Mounting back the part. It's way up in there. Okay, so this piece underneath the big capacitor there has to be moved over far enough that I can drop it back into its proper slots there. Does it get any easier than that? I don't think it's quite in. Over a little further. It's restricted at one end or the other, I think. I need to get a close look at this left side. Okay, we're looking at the side with the two tabs, I guess you can call them. I have to go into slots. Looks like it's in. Maybe not down at the bottom there. Restrictions in where I can put the tool. Problem doing that. Again, I just can't angle my tools. You know, there's a lot of stuff in the way here. Let's make a closer observation there before maybe I'm jumping to conclusions. Don't want to do that. Yeah, let's go down. Whoop. And in there. Ooh, there we go. That looks a little better. using pliers you can apply power to. These ones I can apply some power. There it goes. There we are. Okay, that's back in. Now that's it. The last thing is the darn yellow gear. So what I want to do with that is I want to set myself up to do the gluing operation. And then who's at the door? Anybody out there? Ah. There he is. Okay, now what he's looking for. He's looking for a bit of lap time with me. So I think that's good. I'm going to do that just because I don't want to rush at this. This is the one-way street doing the epoxy thing. You get one good chance. And then it's over. That's right. Come on, Peanut, let's go. Okay, there's a great shot now. You can see the retracting finger, if I can call it that. That's this piece here. It's just pressing down on this right now. It's not making much contact. Well, it's not making really any contact. It's getting ready to bend it out of the way, but somewhere along the line that seems to have happened. You can hear a sound in the background. That's a heavy rain falling outside. Big drops of rain. There's quite a bit pushing back on this. So I'm going to put this glue in, and then once I have it in, this has to be held firmly together. It's pretty hard for me to test this. I've got the in this position the tuning knob is basically pointing down onto my bench. It's not really accessible. I don't want to try to test it, but I can see it's locked into the gear over there. It's a little hard to see, but it's I can lever lots of pressure like this, but I have to stand here for quite a while. You can see the play between the plates not moving, but everything else is. So that tells me or suggests to me I don't have this yellow gear in the right position. It's not seating down as far as it can go. How are we ever going to find that? When I'm doing the gluing operation, I believe I'm going to be putting glue on the shaft and then sliding this back and forth on the shaft like this. And the glue will get between the shaft and the yellow piece. And then it's a question of just gluing it up tight after that. Holding it up tight, rather. I may have to stand here for a few minutes. Sure looks like that would do it. Just like that. Putting epoxy in these other areas, like down in here, what's the advantage of it? So what I'm trying to do is lock the yellow gear to the shaft. That's what I need to do. It doesn't really have to be locked to these, but in effect it will be through the shaft. I don't want this to have enough pressure on it that it's able to do its job back where the gear is. I'm practicing. See, in this position it looks like I could put pressure on the yellow wheel, but in fact my tool is actually striking part of the frame and there's nothing on the wheel. But it looks like it, it feels like it. That's why I'm practicing, so I don't make that kind of mistake. I'll probably use a different tool rather than this one. Now, what am I compressing here? I don't know if I'm compressing it or if I'm tipping it angle-wise a little bit, just because I'm basically pushing on one side of the yellow wheel. I've got a tool here. I don't know if it's here. I have a tool. Might be ideal. Okay, I have to run out and hunt down what might be an ideal tool here. I had to dig a bit to find this guy. Let's just see if it's going to work again. Okay, now this gives me huge leverage here. I'm going to push hard and a bunch of parts are going to come flying off again. Push quite hard on it. And wouldn't be too hard to block this. Let me see if I can do that. Oop. Because I'm going to want the glue to sit for 5 minutes under pressure. Just looking for something that will go in here and quite a long shot there. Really depends how you set the tool in, how much gap you've got here to deal with too. So even if I got blocks, they might not be right when the time came. See, I could do, look at that. That would be fantastic. What does that look like on the other camera? The other camera has taken a bit of a spill here. Doesn't that look just fantastic? Now, should I do something about that arm? Now, we certainly don't want that finger getting in there and doing anything to this yellow gear ever again. So I'm going to bend that up. And I've got a perfect angle to do it here. I can take this out. Easily done. That's easy. Okay, hopefully that hasn't got its own problems now. I'm going to try pushing one of the buttons here. So. Stay put, camera. Camera wire keeps pulling it over. Okay. Well, I don't see there's any problem. Okay. We're just about ready to go here. Do literally a dry run. I get this camera so wedged in. So we want the camera like that. Okay. Okay, so now how do I get the glue down there? I have to serve it down probably on the end of a stick. So I mix some glue up, dab the end of the stick into my glue pool. Now I'm going to try to put glue, I'm pretending here, only only on the shaft, nowhere else. Yeah, look at that. I didn't really think this part through yet. Only on the shaft. Okay, so if I get it all over this plate, it won't really matter, will it? Maybe the plate's going to rotate in the future. The glue bumps are going to hit the gear, the pinion gear. So I do not want to get glue on that. Oh, this is more challenging than I realized, because I hadn't thought about this part yet. Wow, I had some kind of a dispenser, a glue dispenser. I mean, looks like I got to take some steps to expose the shaft, like I've done now. Somehow, I can set this up like this. And take another stick. Get another stick. I have to come straight in. Problem is it can't come straight in, except where the camera is sitting. Maybe from here. Maybe I can come in from here. Well, if I had glue on, I would have done it. Okay, so I'm going to have to make a few dabs of glue until there's enough on the shaft there. And would then remove my sticks. And then push the gear. Love the way that just popped in there. I think it's the pinion gear setting that's making that pop. But then I also want to glue back here. Might be better to put glue back here first. The glue in here first. Got about five minutes. Work it back and forth. Spin it a bit. Okay, glue done. Now I have to first put the blocking stick in, or whatever you want to call it. Oh, yikes. Don't like it when things jump around. Don't jump around. Why won't it go back there? Oh my gosh. That's tough to do. It's tough to put something in there at that point. Meanwhile, the glue is setting. I could just go for gluing it on the back part and forget about gluing it inside there. Why am I bothering to even try and glue it here? What's the advantage of that? Lots of disadvantages. This other part is easy. And you know, you've got a fair bit of structure back here. Fair bit of structure back here. So if I can get glue quite a ways up in there, so that has to do with how much working I can do on it. So let's see. So we start with it over yonder. Just go over there, would you? So you hold it like this. Okay, you can see I've used this stick for glue before. Go in and glue. What if the glue goes where you don't want it to go? Wow, you know where the glue can go? You can go right on the shaft where it goes into this metal piece here and stick it really easily, especially if I do this. I do that. I will have built a glue meniscus right up against the I'll accidentally glue the shaft, so to avoid that I would have to rotate the shaft. Oh, that's another thing. I don't have to rotate the yellow piece. I have to rotate the shaft to drive the glue around. Okay, so applying glue in such a way that it doesn't ever reach the metal thing. Can I do that? Oh, looks like I can probably do that. Just be very careful about how far back you put it. Start spinning it very carefully. Just Spin it more. You don't want to spin it right around. Get the glue really into the yellow thing. Okay, so this is a pretty easy thing to do here. Glue going in. Then when we were all happy, we set it. Now, is there any reason to make any attempt to put the glue in this area? I mean, if I could do it, it'd be good. Can't hurt, can it? Can it hurt? How can it hurt? Only by getting it in stupid places. And something like look, I can drag this right across the teeth here and glue the teeth. Are you going to try to get epoxy out of those? Sounds like it's just a dangerous end to apply any epoxy to. For little advantage. All the work can be done down at this other end. And even if I get glue between these metal parts, as long as I keep turning this, I should overcome it. Can I protect those metal parts? Can I put something in there, keep the glue away? Oh, not without gluing whatever it is I stick in there to it. So I think that's the name of the game. The name of the game is glue. This thing gets caught. Glue, concentrate on gluing. Got a couple minutes. I can be doing this for a couple minutes. What was that? It just popped. I don't know. It just popped. String pop off? No. Broke the string? No. Glue. Now, so I gotta like put glue on, try to get it to go up underneath. What if that doesn't really work? Well, what if it doesn't really want to go up underneath? How could that happen? I think as long as I'm spinning this, it's going to get drawn up in. You're supposed to remove all the grease and oil from stuff before you apply glues. How can I put, I could stick some solvent in there, but I'm a little worried about this plastic wheel not doing well with it. Somehow the plastic wheel grips that the yellow wheel grips the metal spring plate occasionally. It didn't that time. And then we're applying pressure. Lots of pressure. Can you apply too much pressure? Then we're taking that tool, trying to go down on the shaft, and then applying pressure. Not like that. That's not going to work. Gotta go this way. So realizing, when you model this stuff, which I think is really important to practice this stuff, that's when you find out you can't have your hands in the positions you think you're going to have them. So that's pretty easy to do that. And then I can literally stand here for a couple minutes, even if I don't block the tool. What's a couple minutes? Well, of course, the problem there is, how do you know the couple minutes are up? Now, what I usually do is I'm going to mix up epoxy. You always have some left over where you've mixed it up. Well, that epoxy is getting hard at the same rate that the epoxy you've applied is getting hard. So rather than worry about the epoxy on the actual parts, you just look back at and test the epoxy that's left in your little, well, I usually use tin foil. I usually mix it on tin foil. Okay, so what if you do this and it just doesn't work? It just doesn't grip the metal bar. Can't really sand it. I'm worried about trying to clean it. I think there probably is a touch of lubrication on it that will have flowed up from right in here where it was originally lubricated. A tiny, tiny thin film of it. This is the only way to do this without encountering too many risks, too many problems, too many jackpots. Man, it just turns into the simplest thing though. I just glue it to the shaft. As long as I stick my tool in there where the glue is that going to be a problem? Probably not. Okay, so I'm going to be doing this momentarily, but I'm going to go and just take a little break before I do it. So I am clean-brained. What? Clean-brained? What the heck is that? Okay, a little more practicing. So I mixed up my stuff here, getting it on the stick. Yeah. I want that wheel over as far as it'll go. I know you can't see it right now, but it's a little bit of a problem. Put this capacitor here, never thinking I'd have to get my hand in through here. I could always detach this temporarily, slide it out of the way. I'm not sure it's going to help. Okay, mixing a bit on the end of the stick, bringing it over. It's just not open enough like that. This doesn't go much further anyway. That's kind of it. Scooping it in. Now I have to put the stick down. Stick over here. Wheel. Start this action here. Okay. First bit. Getting more off the plastic. Okay, I can see I don't have a hand to hold the plastic that my glue is on. Get my hands up here. So I need this to lock the little plastic piece down. Okay, I bring the glue thing in. In you go. I'm trying to just basically glop a bunch on the top here. And then start an action. Put the stick down. Grab the wheel. Start turning. How many times can I do that? Probably three times is probably the most. Then I have to bring it up tight, hold it tight, grab this tool, put it in place, there's glue there now, like this, and there I am. I should have my cup of coffee in here. I think that's going to work. I think that's going to work. I mean, it has to work, right? This is we're getting one shot at this. Even mixing the epoxy up is an issue. To make sure it's mixed proper, 50-50. 50-50. Okay, so I have to lock that piece of plastic down here because does it say on here? 5-minute epoxy. Well, you know what? This stuff actually takes a long time to fully cure. Contents harmful. So just for fun, I'm just going to read the instructions. Not that I haven't used epoxy a million times, but I'm going to read them. Okay, it says on 5-minute epoxy, but the instructions say don't try moving it or testing it for at least half an hour. It's half an hour. It's 30-minute epoxy. But I guess the idea is within 5 minutes it's tacky enough that you can stop applying pressure. But it certainly says pressure the parts. So I can't really pressure the parts. It's a shaft and a sleeve. How can I pressure it? It also says, of course, clean the parts. I can't really clean them. And the part I could clean is outside the bonding area anyway. So that wouldn't help much. So I'm just so worried about this not working. Now what if it doesn't work? So if it doesn't bind, what that means is it's still loose. The yellow gear is still spinning on the shaft. So why wouldn't I just put more glue? Try it over. Try and glue it again. Because I have the other end of the yellow thing. I can always attempt to glue from the other end if I need to. Although once it's partially glued here, it might be hard to move this. Its movement might be restricted. Really worried about not getting enough glue in just by doing this back and forth movement. I mean, well, what options do I have? I mean, how else can you get it in there? So each time I'm trying to shift the glue from the where I've applied it inwards, and then I can apply more glue and then go back and kind of fetch it with the thing, fetch it, and then bring it on and spin it around in here. Wow. Epoxy is pretty good stuff. There's no other glue you could use here that would be effective, I think. Maybe something like I think it's called JP Weld or something. I've never had it or used it. It's just more epoxy, I believe. I could build up, after it's all said and done, I can apply more glue and try to build there's a word for it, like a meniscus at the end of it, there at the left end, if there isn't one there already. If the glue gets really tacky, it's just not going to go anywhere. But I really can't control the quality of the mixture. It's going to come out of that tube thing. Hopefully 50-50, I'm going to mix it. It says mix it for 1 minute. Because these are very viscous liquids, and getting them to mix is extremely difficult. Much more difficult than any of us would imagine when they're that viscous. A minute's a long time to sit here and stir stuff. By then, with it really well mixed, it'll harden more rapidly. I'll have burned up a minute of the 5. Okay, I just can't. Nothing else is coming to mind. Okay, one more practice here, and let me get some new sticks. Yes, deserves brand new sticks. Or does it? Because the old stick is actually a little bit like a paintbrush. Go with the old stick. Just a moment ago, and I mentioned it was raining hard outside, and then it was sunny. Now it's raining again. I'm gonna get a kick out of looking at that. That's peanut on my lap. There. My cats are facing up to the fact that winter has come. Now, is this thing blocked? It's probably blocked. I'm probably not going to get anything out of it. Yeah. Don't aim it at yourself. Okay, gotta deal with that. Okay, here we go. So just using a screw to plunge out this. inside doesn't want to go. I need something much longer to shove up there, and then I have to throw it away after. No. So this is the kind of thing that, you know, if you're in the middle of an operation like this, and then all of a sudden you decide you need a tool or something, you're in big trouble. Big trouble. I'm using a screw because I think I can pull out. I don't want to push this stuff in. It looks like it's reacted all the way down into here. This might be the last go for this. Okay, we're clear now. Okay, squeeze on the right side. Oh my gosh. Uh-oh. There it comes. Okay, that's way more than enough. Looks like equal amounts. Much of a lid. Okay, put that over there. Start the clock on mixing. 1 minute. Now, I should have thought of something nice to talk about. 10:30 on the clock. That's a huge amount here I've mixed up. Way more than what's needed. Change cameras here. You know, like an idiot, I left the screws right, screw tray sitting right in the way. Okay, screw tray out. This is almost dropping the stick now. I'm getting excited here. I've moved the light. Get the light back on it. Okay, prepare for the first dosing. First dosing here. Okay, that goes over. Come in. Oh, it's just going to go everywhere. Well, it is what it is. Okay, so I've got it on the shaft there. Doesn't look like much, does it? Okay, stick down. Start the turning process. Oh, look at it. Yeah. Oh boy. So it's going, instead of glue, I'm not gluing the right thing, am I? This is bad news. Can't stop now though. This is really bad news. You know what? This is really bad news because what I didn't figure out is I can't be spinning this shaft once I glued the yellow thing in. So this is bad news here. I'm gluing the wrong thing. Okay. So while I'm applying more glue, thinking about how terrible this situation is getting, how am I going to solve it? How am I going to do this? More glue. Yeah, this did not work. Oh, look at that. Well, I'm just going to have to go with it. Because there's no turning back now. No turning back. I'm going to glue the yellow gear to the frame. Oh my God, what am I going to do about that? What am I going to do about that? Is there any glue going up inside? Must be. Oh my God, what am I going to do about that? What am I going to do about that? Get rid of as much of it as possible. How would I get rid of it? How do you get rid of that stuff? You don't. Oh my God. Okay, so another disaster. All that planning, and I did not think of everything. That's for sure. Think we got enough glue in there? Can't really see how much glue is getting into it, if any. Try to get suck all the glue out of there. Try to wipe it out. How can I wipe it out? Some kind of solvent-soaked cloth. Another stick. Stick as much of it out of there. Yeah, because we want to get rid of there's a meniscus forming there, which is going to be really hard to break. Oh my God, this is not going well. This is a disaster. Get out of there. Just spread it out. Spread it. I just spread it out onto the unimportant parts. Whatever that is. And then I'm literally just going to have to break it. Keep breaking the glue contact without... How am I ever going to do this? Oh man, jackpot city. Yeah, I underestimated this problem, for sure. I seem to have gotten a fair bit of glue. At least, you know, what I can see. Away from there. Oh boy. Okay, so now I'm using my finger to hold this. So what we would want the yellow gear to turn with the shaft. Oh my God, how am I ever going to do this? Put my finger in here now. We're not going to get the... oh boy, this is bad news. I don't like it. So think, the yellow gear is only working the knob on the front, but it's a fair bit of gearing on that knob. So if I turn the shaft, it's likely to just not turn the knob. And the shaft will spin inside the yellow. I don't want that. I want the shaft to spin in the metal back there. This is bad news. The other thing I do is let the glue, you know, get 50-60% of its strength and then try breaking it free. What about solvent in there? Can you dissolve this stuff? Jeez, I don't think so. Maybe just get something, poof, blow it away. Like, blasto. El blasto. Blast it away. Can you blast it away? Just getting deeper and deeper into trouble. Darn it. Trapped. Okay, I can't leave here. I can't leave. So I have not got the stuff I need to blast it. Well, I guess we're just going to have to gamble that that the epoxy is not strong enough in the case of the metal spot there. Let me stick more away. Peanut, there's nothing I can do now. You've come in too late. Clean more of it away. Well, are you feeling sorry for me, are you? Okay, I really can't see quite. What's going on around the backside there. Okay, so we're in the holding state. Now, am I holding this thing good? Let me put that tool in, because why not? Why not put that tool in? You know what? I can't. My hand's in the way. No, it's not. No, it's not. No panicking. No panic. Everything's going fine. Everything is just as it should be. Or is this yellow gear engaged with the... Well, Peanut, this is another fine mess I've gotten myself into. After how many hours of study? Hours of study. It's 10:38 now. So let me check. 8 minutes have gone by. So the glue has become very tacky. I can tell from where it is on the paper. So what we'll do... Yeah, see, it's not sticky here yet. I really don't want to stand here and hold this for a long time. So I'm going to try blocking it as planned. Okay, inserting a block. Perfect. Perfect. Wow. I have a block holding the tool, applying the pressure, and it's covering that whole thing up. And about spraying oil in from the backside of that part. Some oil in there. Would oil do something? What would oil do? How would oil help? That's right, Peanut. He's saying, let me go outside. I'm gonna put just a little just so I've done something. A little WD-40 on the back side of that thing. Here. Can I get in there with it? Why I think this would help, I don't know. I mean, oh, for crying out, as soon as you push the, these cans are lousy. As soon as you push the top, the little red thing goes moving. Now, yeah, let's spray it there. And just everything. Peanut, please. Okay, here we go. Come. Okay. I don't know what good that'll do. We gotta leave this just sitting here now. Oh my gosh, Peanut, really? Okay, that's good. Good. Okay, I'm gonna go settle down. Everything just stay like it is. Everything looks perfect. Well, hopefully I haven't frozen this thing like a block of ice now. Peanut, really? Okay, well, it certainly hasn't been half an hour yet. Just checking on the state of the glue here. Ooh, that's pretty good. Oh boy, oh yeah, that's pretty good. Now I might want to try rotating the main shaft a little bit. Maybe if I get my finger in there and kind of help the yellow gear just a wee bit. If I get any little bit of movement, even with that pressure gizmo in there. This is a little crazy to do. Just can we turn it at all? Oh boy. Well, the answer is yes. But look, the whole shaft is turning inside the yellow thing too. Oh man, I better start reading up on how to dissolve epoxy. Okay, just leave it exactly like that for the full. Well, I'm going to leave it there a long time, I think. How long's a long time? It's 11:15 now. Another 15 minutes. Check it. Okay, it's only been about 5 minutes, and I'm sitting and thinking, what could I have done? What could I have done? And I could have just taken some string, wrapped it around that shaft, and then pulled the string up tight where I don't want the glue to go. And then it would have sat there, kind of blocking the entrance, if you like, between the shaft and the frame. Then I could have glued away, and then I could have just pull this off. It looks a little easy on my finger. And that probably would have blocked any glue from getting right in. Now I'm thinking, well, wait a minute, I can use string like floss. Let me use like floss in there and kind of work out the glue. The problem is I've got the wedge tool tucked in there in the way. And by now, how tough is this glue now? How tough is the glue? Wow. Okay, so you see it's really, really sticky. So what I really want to try to do is turn the wheel a bit without turning the yellow. Oh, Peanut, come on. I haven't got enough patience here. Every time I turn around, he's after me. What's my best move? Leave it all? Leave it alone, and you know, that metal shaft, I can put tools on it to turn it. The epoxy takes a long time to fully cure. So there's probably a time where, without risking loosening up the yellow, I can turn that shaft a little bit. I can also get my hand on the tuning knob, kind of relieve the back pressure, so to speak, turn the shaft, turn the tuning knob, help the yellow gear stay in place, and break it free. And I'd probably do that at the half-hour mark without too much trouble. And then is that shaft forever going to have like a break on it because of the glue stuck in there? It's going to be like a break, dragging, maybe a little bit, but there's a lot of torque power being applied to that shaft. You know, and the radio is gear driven. It's not string driven. Hello, you again? I think he's saying he wants to go out, but it's raining and wet and cold. You really want spring to be back, don't you, Peanut? You must wonder who I'm talking to all the time in here. Well, here's a good idea I wish I had thought of. I could take a washer, like a rubber washer, like the kind you might use in your tap. Split it so I can open it, push it over the shaft where you see the fork tool sitting right now, and initially stick it up against the frame where you don't want the glue to go. Then apply the glue, do the yellow wheel, do all that kind of stuff, and then the last step, slide the split washer up against the yellow the yellow gear, thereby gluing the washer to the shaft and to the gear, and just putting a whole bunch more glued up material up against the back of that yellow gear, because I just don't know how much glue got inside the the shaft and the yellow inside the yellow gear. The thing is, I can still do that. I could, after this is frozen up, put in a split washer, throw in some glue, and then shove that all up against the back of that yellow gear to greatly increase the gluage. And I think that's not a bad idea. Probably if I think about it longer, I'll realize what's wrong with that idea. You need a pretty thin washer to pull that off. Okay, so how long has it been? It's 11:15 now, but I think I'm just going to let it sit there even longer. In fact, it's worth checking the glue here. Okay, dry end. So it's still, you know, you can bend it, but it's lost its tackiness. That's probably what's happening in there. I hope so. Okay, it's been 45 minutes or so. Time to take some action to make sure the metal shaft can spin. I'm very, very nervous about this. End up with the wrong thing glued and the right thing not glued. That's the potential here. So I'm just going to wiggle the shaft a little bit. It is certainly not turning freely. Okay, so I don't want to try turning the yellow gear by the shaft. At the same time, I can't use the yellow gear and the knob on the front to drive the shaft. And I still haven't let go of the pressure on it. Now I'm going to leave it a little. So I'm just worried it's going to freeze so solid that I won't be able to turn that shaft. Wow, what to do here? Well, first of all, I think, do I dare relieve this? So if I relieve it and the yellow gear springs back a bit because the glue didn't really solidify, I'm in kind of hot water. There's no way to find out what's going to happen without having it happen. I think there's a really good chance I can pretty much get that shaft turning no matter what. So I'm going to leave it. Leave it a little longer. Okay, time to find out what kind of trouble I got myself into. 12:15 now. Here we go. Okay, first I'm going to relieve the pressure here. Oh, even that's glued in. Okay, so I didn't move. That's good. I'm going to tip this up. The camera may not like this. Let's see what happens. Okay. Camera does not like the situation. Let's try here. Okay. Painfully close shot here. Anything's going wrong, we're going to see it. So I can see a bit of a meniscus on the back of the yellow gear. That's good. And it looks like the whole shaft is coated, and then we can't quite see what's up in where the shaft goes in. Okay, so I'm going to try to turn the tuning knob and work the big wheel on the side here in the same direction, which way is which. Wow. There we go. Whew. Okay, so that's all I want to do right now. That's enough. Very good. Okay. Well, that's a relief. Just turning the knob on the front. That's enough. That's enough for now. Very good. Lunchtime has come. That's good. That's good. Okay, so it's been a few hours now. It's a little after 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I think it's time to give this guy a full test. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to turn the tuning knob on the front of the radio and see what happens. Here we go. Hot diggity dog, look at that. So I can tell from the pressure I'm putting on the tuning knob that everything is turning quite freely. Very good indeed. Fantastic. Wow, that's just been craziest longest journey I've ever taken into such a darn simple repair in the end. Yeah, that's getting pretty tough. Good. That's good. Good all around. take the camera out of here. Spin it around. And it's upside down. I don't think that really matters. Okay. This is the FM side with the buttons. See the pointer? Now when you get to the end of the road, what happens? Does anything slip somewhere? Just watching it. It's all gear-driven stuff. Maybe I took that. Well, that's a little scary. I think you could probably drive this, drive it loose if you tune to the extremes and then really pushed it. These buttons don't want to move at all. They are rock solid. I don't know what's behind that deal. Well, I wasn't expecting that. They are rock solid. It's banging into the back plate. The part I bent a little bit. Let's push this back. There we go. So that's the problem. The plate had moved over so far, the buttons were banging right into it. Okay, here we go. Watch this spin. Try this one. He wants to go anywhere. Oh, it's stuck again. Well, what's happening is the piece with the finger that drives the yellow gear is no longer engaged with the yellow gear. It's free to move. And it's moving too far over this way and causing the button to lock up. I might be able to block that. Something like that. There we go. I'm going to blow everything up here if I do this. Well, I guess now, if you push this button, because the gears are connected all the time, you're going to try to drive this flywheel here. It's all going to be a little tough. So I think the story is they're kind of back where the buttons really can't be used. You really push hard. I'm going to put a lot of strain on the part that I glued to maybe break the glue free. So it may be best to leave these locked out like this. No one can push them in. It's really not much of a loss in terms of using this guy. The main thing is you can do this. This is the prime thing. Okay, I think I've reached the end of the road here with this radio. I think that's the end of it. Yeah, very good. Okay, that glue's going to harden up for another 24 hours anyway. Very good. I think that's it. I don't think I'm going to play it here. I've played it before, and I know it's working on FM quite well. So, fantastic. That's the end of it. That's the end. Can't believe it. All that work to reach that point, but it's successful. And some of my earlier ideas would have been failures for sure. Fantastic. Okay, well, thanks a lot for watching all this stuff, and something's going to be on my bench next.